What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad.
No, Miguel.
And Halloween 3 Season of the Witch from 1982. This is the newest installment in our horror highlight series. Now, the way that we've been doing this is this horror highlight series just gives us a way to revisit some of these classic films, these classic horror films, talk about our favorite moments from them. I believe we've done our top 3 moments in our previous entries. So I've been looking forward to this one. This is a movie that personally, it took me a long time to get into because I never really gave it a true shot. And it wasn't until 5-6 years ago I actually sat down and really paid attention to it for the first time. And I was like, dang, this is actually a really, really cool creative film. I don't think people realize often how good of an idea Halloween 3 actually is. And I've said for a couple years now, since Halloween Ends has ended, I feel like what they need to do with the Halloween franchise is actually take Season of the Witch and do something legit with it. I think there's so much potential there for a really cool, sick, twisted story. But so we're going to talk our favorite moments from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Miguel, my friend, are you going to make it through final processing?
I hope so.
Not if you're wearing that damn mask or not.
I'm gonna put the mask on. I'm gonna go with the witch mask. What would you take?
The witch mask is the only one that I actually own of the two. I would probably the pumpkin if I had to pick one. If I had to wear one,
Yeah.
I would probably
like a
pick
pumpkin mask
the.
kind of guy.
I need to, man. I saw. I was actually. It was with you. It was one of those Halloween shopping vlogs from a couple years ago. I found one of the witch masks in Party City, and I don't think they're around anymore. The Halloween 3 masks.
Yeah, especially the.
I'll have to see. Like, I think the licensing ran out or something with Trick or Treat Studios, and so I would like to add them to my collection. I haven't.
They're probably
I
more
haven't yet.
expensive
So
now.
I'll probably have to spend $200 to do it. So I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I would like to add them to the collection. So this, like I said, I think this movie has so much potential. This story has so much potential, and not that the 1982 film wasn't good or that it didn't do a good job. I think if you really wanted to expand this into something more, you could really do some pretty crazy creative shit with it. And I think there's a lot of really cool groundwork there. Overall, I think one of the things that this movie does the best is the mystery aspect of it. We don't really know the full picture of what's going on. Hell, for the first third of the movie, you're just like, huh? What the fuck? Like, what is going on? I mean, shoot, this isn't even one of my favorite moments, but this just honorable mention moment. The opening of the film, like when we see these orange neon lines, and you realize that we're just kind of zooming out of a television screen. It's the Silver Shamrock commercial. And it's the pumpkin, with the opening credits to then we're in California suddenly, and there's this dude running out of the darkness holding a mask, and there's dudes in suits chasing him. Like, it's just to a first time viewer, you're like, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on? I think about moments like once we get to the hospital with old Mr. Horndog Chalice, and he I watched this.
Dr. Chalice.
Man,
Yeah.
Dr. Chalice, he's something. Dude is a walking sexual harassment lawsuit, if you ask me. But
Yeah, I mean, dude, Tom Atkins, man, what a filmography.
A man's man,
Yeah, yeah.
He seems like a really nice dude too. But the craziness of that story. I mean, when he walks out. The movie's already been crazy enough as it is, the dude coming to the hospital with the mask, and he's kind of been panicky and he's asleep or whatever, and Chalice is over there playing slap ass with the nurses and whatever. When he kills him, and the dude walks out to the car and pours gasoline all over himself and lights himself on fire in the car, you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what are we getting at? Like,
what is happening?
This is not a Michael Myers film. Like we knew from that then.
And I kind of respect that. I think so many people hated it. This movie didn't do very well in the theater because people were expecting a sequel to Halloween 2 from 1981, and instead they got a very different film. But looking at it, hindsight's 2020 for them. I feel like personally, I almost like the fact that immediately it sets itself apart from Halloween, from the rest of the franchise. At least I think that's kind of cool. And this was part of John Carpenter's original idea to do, a new Halloween film every other year, to just kind of do an anthology series where every single film is something new. Michael Myers would have been the first of a continuous anthology of films, and that's kind of cool in and of itself. And I'm glad that the franchise exists as is, but I'm also glad that Season of the Witch exists too for a whole lot of reasons. So
yeah,
I think it does a lot of things incredibly well, and I think it's actually pretty underrated in the horror community. Yes, it's got its fans, it's got its diehards, it's got, I think the Halloween community as a whole has kind of come around to it in the last couple of decades, but I think it's very underrated overall as a horror film. So
no, I'd agree. I think I liked it the first time I watched it. Like I wasn't like hating on the fact it wasn't a Michael Myers.
I remember I thought you weren't going to like it. I thought you were going to be like, this is really weird, which it is. It's weird. It's a weird film. Like, but it does, like I said, I think what saves it and what makes it so engaging is the mystery aspect of it, because you spend so much of this movie going, what the hell is this? What is going on right now? It's very X-Files conspiracy, deeper than you really know level. So it's pretty cool. But so our top 3 moments, Miguel. What was your first of your favorite moments from Halloween 3, Season of the Connell Cochran?
So mine goes pretty far into the end. If I were going to do my first one, is when it was confirmed, when it was established that Ellie was I guess for lack of a better term, a synth. I've been playing Fallout 4 a lot recently, so like for me to like immediately think of her as like a synth as soon as that happened, I was like, that's hilarious. But yeah, when the accident occurred and it was one of those frightening scenes where it's like her headless and you see her head, and then like the arm just all of a sudden comes out of nowhere and starts choking Cochran, and it was just one of those like, where the fuck are we getting at now at this point of the like we've already established like this movie is so far out of whack with like the Stonehenge and like
that really like twist the knife more in terms of the weirdness,
essentially, because like she was with you throughout the entire film, just as concerned, wanted to know the truth and everything, and all of a sudden, it's confirmed that she was a fucking robotic woman.
You know what, though? And this has always confused me, and I've always wondered what the true case was here. There's one of 2 scenarios here with Ellie. Number one is she was actually a robot the entire time. She was one of Cochran's robots. Or B, was she actually a person throughout the majority of the film, and she was captured, and she's still captured, and that's a robot. I don't know what the truth is there. Like,
I feel like
she's still at the factory right now with Cochran and the rest of the goons, and this is just a robot that was made to look like her, or has she actually been a robot the entire time? Because here's the thing, man. We talked about Chalice being an old a man's man. Like, my question to old Dan Chalice is like, bro, did you not know? Like, you did things to her. Like,
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Bro, you were all up in that, man. But like, were there no signs? You couldn't tell at all. Like,
what really?
And none of your dealings with Ellie Grimbridge, bro. You didn't know. Like,
that's true. That's very true. What was fucking me up the entire time of the film was like there were so many plot points, like really big things that like I just was really like surprised with, that it could have been its own story in of itself. So like Ellie being a quote unquote synth could literally have been an entirely different story. Like it really could have been like
Right.
a Twilight Zone. You also have the Stonehenges, which is like a cursed
It's so
alien
crazy.
thing,
Yeah.
and
This
then you
movie's
have
wacky as
the
shit, man.
yeah, and then you have the terroristic you know um aspect with the kids and all that stuff. Just so many
Yeah.
wacky things that was happening left and right, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what the fuck to follow. So like maybe if like if we were to like rewatch it, maybe I could probably pinpoint
Yeah.
moments where like
You know,
maybe Ellie got switched, or maybe she was always one. Kind of
dude,
like
I
kind of like
think
the
that's.
mist. No, not the mist. The
I
fucking
mean,
thing.
she is captured. Like, it's possible that they captured her. He somehow was able to get an android that looks exactly like her, and that's who Chalice ended up saving. You know, I don't know. Do you think that's one of the things that's so jarring about this movie? Like, why some people really don't like it because it's so weird. I mean, it is weird. It's freaking strange. The whole like the Stonehenge thing, the robots thing, the like weird Irish magic thing. Like there's so much weirdness to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's part of why people are so like, "Whoa, what the hell is
It's
going
not the
on?
fact that
Like,
they
what is
didn't
this?"
like it. I think it's probably the fact that they were just so jarred, but it was just so jarring for people to like
They're
see
so
and like
caught
they
off
just
guard.
yeah, so like you
Yeah,
couldn't really get a nice sense of like what the fuck to make of this movie because
yeah.
like there's so many different plot points that like
Right,
how is
right.
all this connecting at the same time, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good moment. It actually almost made my list. My first of my three moments that I picked out from this, is actually it's always been one of my favorite sequences in the movie. So the final processing, the tour of the factory scene. So at this point, Ellie and Chalice have successfully kind of made it into Santa Mira. They've kind of gone undercover essentially as a husband and wife, which they've already slept together at this point in the movie. Like,
Yeah,
which is strange because she seems so much younger than him to the point where he even says, after they've slept together,
that's
"How
true.
old are you?" He has to ask her after they've already done it. Anyways, so they're kind of playing husband and wife here, and they end up going to the factory, and there's a guy there with his family. He was one of the top sellers of the Silver Shamrock Halloween masks and things, so he's getting a tour of the factory. And it's weird, right? It's the factory is like how do I put this? The Silver Shamrock factory is like if you mix together like a weird, creepy old factory with like grandma's house that you would stay at and like you're terrified to go to sleep because of the weird dolls and shit in it. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
what the Silver Shamrock factory is like. It's really bizarre. And there's dudes in suits everywhere. Like it's just got a real weird feeling to it. And they're getting the tour. This guy's child ends up grabbing one of the pumpkin masks, and Cochrane he's like, "Oh no, don't grab that one, take this one. This one's been through final processing," which leads his dad to kind of be like, the salesman who's all gung-ho about Cochrane and who he is and Silver Shamrock. He's like, "Oh, what's final processing?" And Cochrane's like, "Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, trade secrets, blah blah blah." And he gives him the mask, which of course we know is the chip. That's why it was the version he wanted the kid to have. It's got the chip already attached, and they make it outside. And it's kind of this scene is one of the turning point moments where they've been undercover this whole time, or so they thought, with Ellie. And we actually see. I actually have this hanging on one of the doors inside of my house. I have the Trick or Treat Studios Silver Shamrock Final Processing coming into the garage. The sign. But we see the doors in this walkway that says final processing, and this guy's like, he's trying to get on Cochrane's good side. He's like, I want, what's final processing? I'd like to see what that is. Can't you show even, or it's Chalice that says something like, you can't even show him what your top salesman what final processing is. And Cochrane spits out something like, it involves very volatile chemicals, and I wouldn't want to injure anyone. He pulls some story about why they can't go in there, and the salesman's like, "Oh, I understand." And at this point, again, weird, Chalice notices all of the suits, the dudes in the gray suits that are just kind of stationed everywhere, you know. He puts it together, hey, those dudes look like who killed Ellie's father. He's like, you know, we need to go. And Ellie sees, she sees her dad's car parked in one of their buildings out back. She goes to run up to the car, and she's immediately swarmed by Cochrane's like personal Secret Service level douchebags. You know, his what we learn later to be robots. And she's swarmed and she's blocked from going in. And that moment, one of the things I love about that moment is it's so awkward. Like, you've got Chalice, who is like, don't blow our cover. She runs up to the car. She's blocked by the dudes. Mm-hmm. The mother is holding her child, kind of like looking back at Cochrane and the salesman, looking at what's going on with Ellie. And I kid you not, we cut to Cochrane. We cut to Cochrane and the salesman, and Cochrane's like, like he's just got this look on his face. The whole sequence is so damn awkward. And he's just like, he goes, trade secrets. And just keeps on looking down like that. And it cuts back to Chalice, and Chalice is just like you can tell he's just like, okay, he knows the gig is up, essentially. Like, yeah. It's such an awkward, weird sequence. And Cochrane is such a blatant, like, bad guy, like stereotypical bad guy in this movie, you know. I love it. I love that sequence. It's very revealing of like what's happening. It's revealing of like there's something bigger and weird going on here. You know, there's a lot that I really enjoy about that sequence. So that's my first one.
So when it comes to the second one, I think I already kind of hinted at it with how absolutely obnoxiously out of the world this movie is. The first victim of the Shamrock Curse, I suppose. Little buddy Kupfer, I think is his name. Where
are you talking about the boy or the lady in bed?
The boy.
Ah, that was my second one too.
Yeah. Was the actual
the test room
scene.
Testing room.
And just it's probably one of them, or if not the more gruesome deaths I've seen in like the Halloween franchise, for that matter.
It's a death that people forget about in this franchise. People think about like the Halloween 6 massacre when Michael goes in the operating room and just like kill, like just absolutely annihilate. Like, people think about the Halloween kill stuff, but like it's a pretty gnarly death scene.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, so it was one of those scenes in the Halloween franchise where like I still don't quite understand, if I remember correctly, how it affects the kids. Because, and if you guys get mad at me because I don't understand, please tell me this. Why is it whenever after all is said and done and the kid's head is pretty much melted, it turns into fucking bugs?
That's the thing, though. It's some kind of voodoo magic with the Stonehenge thing. Like, I don't know that we're really supposed to understand it. Sure. Essentially, it's like there's some kind of, you know, Irish magic thing with Silver Shamrock.
Does Irish fuck with the voodoo? I don't know. Is that
I don't know. It does go out of its way to mention, like, I mean, when the dude is giving the whole spiel about Cochrane and, you know, Santa Mira and putting the factory there after World War II and, you know, the whole Irish thing, like it does talk about that. But you know, what's crazy is like, horror films, I feel like a lot of times are afraid to do things that are really messed up with kids. Just, you know, naturally, like it's pretty jarring to see.
Leave the kids alone ish. Yeah.
Say what you will about Halloween 3, this movie's got balls of steel to do what it did to that kid. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, we don't know how it works essentially, but you know, it's funny. There's a little bit of comedy there. You know, the dad is like, you know, the kid's like, I gotta pee. I don't want to be in here. They lock the door, the testing door. So it's claustrophobic, right? They're trapped within this space. You know, the mom says to him, you know, don't sit too close to the TV. You know, you'll ruin your eyes or whatever.
You'll fry your brain.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
his brain was fried anyways.
Yeah.
But, you know, we know that the commercial is kind of the catalyst, right? The commercial lights the fuse of what's happening.
Well, it's if I remember correctly, it was it's a frequency that the commercial
Yeah, it's some type of
triggers
frequency.
in the chip.
Something triggers the chip, and it just starts this like concoction from hell inside of the mask, right? Like we see like the kid's head is melting, but like you said, for some reason it gets to the point where like there's snakes and crickets and spiders and maggots and like all coming out of his head and out of, like it's really weird and bizarre, but at the same time it's also super grotesque and like disturbing too. I think that's why it was my second favorite moment, because it's just like, you know, we know that the chip does something bad. We saw what it did to the lady in the hotel room. We saw that, you know, but and even that was a defect. She was tinkering with it. She was messing with it. She kind of clicked something on the chip that she probably shouldn't have. Well, she definitely should have, and she got all like ooey gooey top lip because of it, you know. But I just it's such a brutal moment, and Chalice is watching the whole thing happen, you know, thinking, oh my God, my children are wearing those masks. Like, I bought those masks for my children. Well, his kids already had them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But it's
it's
brutal
grotesque,
scene,
dude.
It's brutal.
Because like you could still see the kid. Like, it's not like it just melted his face. Like, the kid was still like, you can still see the kid's eye like in the corner, and like all of a sudden like crickets and animals start peering out of it. It was just one of those things, and like seeing the mother and the father just like helpless, and just seeing that, like the mother obviously being way more dramatic and fainting, but like
she fainted.
As soon as the snakes and the worms start coming out, I just went like it was just one of those things where it's like it's so horrifically gross, and I could not stop looking at the screen.
It's surprisingly gruesome for and it's in a moment that you wouldn't expect, like when you realize that is the actual end goal of what they're doing, and you realize that they have broadcasted that commercial across the country, the continent, maybe the world. You've got these masks that are being shipped out to kids everywhere. You know, like when you realize that that's the end goal, that's what they're trying to do, you're kind of like, oh, like it kind of clicks at that moment of like, oh, this is bad. Like, this is dark. This is really rough. Which actually, I'm just going to go ahead and say, which leads me to probably my favorite moment of the film, which is the last minute and a half. You know, after the whole weird pull of, again,
like, because this is mine as well. So go ahead, because like this is the reason why I actually loved this film for what it was. So
well, I think the mystery and the journey of discovering the truth of what's happening with Silver Shamrock, with Cochran, with the masks, with the chips, with just everything, the weird commercial, right? It's actually really genius how Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter wrote this, because we keep hearing happy Halloween, da 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 da. Like, we keep hearing it throughout the movie. We keep being reminded of it. Practically everywhere they go, that commercial is playing on TV. Practically everywhere we go. I love the scene where this didn't make my list, but I absolutely adore this scene, seeing Halloween around the world. Well, with that, I guess we know it was around the world, right? We see Halloween around the country, around the world, kids everywhere wearing those masks, the pumpkin and the skeleton and the witch.
Yeah, so
and we realize, like, okay, this is going to be they're essentially trying to murder every child on the planet. Like, it's awful. Like and when you have that context, you know, when Chalice finally gets that context, he's like, I have to do something about this right now. And we end up seeing him run to the gas station from the beginning of the film, and he uses the guy's phone, and he's just like distraught. He's naturally
hysterical.
Pleading with whoever he calls from the TV networks to get the commercial off the air. And something else that I actually caught this last time. I've never really caught this before, but three kids show up wearing which. Why the hell would three kids be trick or treating at a gas station? That's the dumbest thing. I'm like, I would never think to go to a gas station.
Where is this located again? I forgot where it's.
California.
California.
It's in California.
Yeah.
It's in Northern California. But the kids come in. They're wearing masks. He says nothing. The dude, the attendant who actually brings Ellie's father to the hospital, everyone seems so calm, like he's just overreacting in that moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we see the first commercial, it cuts off the air. The second commercial, it cuts off the air. He's holding the phone and he's pleading with who he's talking to get it off the air. And I love the journey of this movie. We go from not knowing what the hell is going on, and people are lighting themselves on fire, and their eyes are getting gouged out by dudes in suits, and then we kind of grow to this point where then we have like the stomach sinking moment with the kid's death, and we see what they're about to do to every child on the planet, or close to it. And then we actually see the payoff of what they're trying to do, right? Yeah. And it's like we build to this super emotional climax where, oh my God, like he's got to end this right now, or billions of children are going to die.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to black.
Yeah.
And we don't know if he's screaming at the end. Is he watching it happen to those three kids in the gas station in front of him? Is he thinking about what's happening? Are his kids watching that last channel? Like there's so many questions in that moment, and we don't know the answer to what exactly, if they got it off the air in time, or if there are still millions of people watching that right now. I mean, it's brutal. It's pretty brutal, man.
It's gut wrenching for sure, because like we as an audience like are fully aware of like the stakes are in play. So like we're taking the ride of him trying to get to someone to tell him to stop the commercial, and like we know why they want to do it. We know why he wants to stop it, but nobody else does.
Right.
So like it's like if
they don't have the context that he has.
Yeah. So like if I were to imagine myself back into like the theaters when this came out and I was fucking alive.
Where's Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Where's Dr. Loomis?
Despite all that, like if you were actually involved in the film, you would feel like everybody in that theater would be feeling tension, like riddling through their ankles to all the way up to the neck, just saying like, dude, like really like pay attention to him. Like so many kids are like, I just saw a kid die. I just saw a snake come out of a kid's mouth. Like this is horrific. Like this cannot happen. Like we cannot allow this type of evil to win in this horror movie. And then you don't know.
But it's also the kind of thing too. What makes it equally scary is like if he would have told him that, if he'd have told the dude, hey, it's Halloween, so people are already playing pranks and being crazy and coming up with these crazy horror stories anyways. But if he would have told that dude, yo, I just watched a kid wearing one of those masks, watching this commercial, and his head melted and snakes and insects came crawling out of it. Like
it's very scripted.
Like
I'd agree.
That's not something that somebody would have been like, oh, are you serious? Okay. Like somebody, especially on Halloween night, probably would have been like, you douchebag, I'm hanging up the phone. You know?
This type of revelation.
It's a very gut-wrenching way to end or conclude the film.
That's true. This type of revelation that he has is going to take a while for it to reach the right people, to have the right investigation, to have the right reaction, and then right procedures to stop it. Like whether or not someone would listen to him, he was already too late. He was too late on that day. Like
probably
plans were already set in motion.
Yeah.
Literally, if you were to think about it logically, nothing was going to stop Cochran from achieving his goal.
And you have to think, like, again, the other thing that makes this cool is like once Chalice and Ellie arrive in Santa Mira, and he starts to get an idea of like the scope of this, of how many masks they've made and how long. I mean, it's Halloween night at the end of the movie. Like it's the night when they're already planning on doing this.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have had these masks going out probably for a year or more at this point, distributing that around the planet, you know? So it's pretty gruesome, man. I feel like people don't give this enough credit for how gruesome and how good it is. You know, I do think now I've seen a few people argue this, and I 100% agree. I think this story, the Season of the Witch story, would really lend itself to a television series or to some kind of streaming series. Like, and you could even now you would have to find the right person. You would have to really expand it some. But I think you could do this in a series. You know, you really take the investigative mystery part of it. Them going to Santa Mira, really diving into things like that, you know, expand that over the course of several episodes. And then you could even go after Halloween night. You could answer the question, okay, what happened? You know, did Chalice stop the commercial in time? Or did that actually happen? I mean, think about that. You know, it would almost be similar to like Endgame with the blip where people just disappear. I mean, could you imagine the next day after billions of children, if that, what happened to that little boy in the testing room, if that actually happened to kids, like that would be an insane way to start a season 2 of a story, or to dive. I mean, it would be surreal to that would be a crazy story and a crazy thing to adapt to a television series. So I'm all for Season of the Witch being revisited. I think, you know, I don't know that it'll happen. I don't know that there's enough of an audience for it, but I think you could do something really, really cool with it. I do.
No, and I agree. I think I've mentioned this, you know, a couple of times with the last few reviews we've had of Season of the Witch, and the many times we've talked about it. Extremely slept on, and
that would be a cool. We need to bookmark this. This could be a cool conversation for a live stream.
Yeah, the Season of the Witch definitely could be branched out into an entirely different franchise in of itself. And not even as like another like Twilight series kind of thing, but like something unique again, if that makes sense. Like definitely. I could think of many different ways to make it more unique. So like all it takes is someone with their hand on the wheel and steer it towards something that like you know, we would all enjoy. Because honestly, man, I would catch Season of the Witch plenty of times.
Well, and shoot, you wouldn't have to do. I mean, you can make it a limited to just do 2 seasons, do 1 season. You know,
honestly, yeah.
Like they could do a limited run, and it could be something really, really cool that people talk about for a long time. So I have a lot of love for Season of the Witch. It's honestly to God, it's become one of my favorites, and a staple. It's got the classic '80s Halloween feel. It's a fun story. It's kind of silly and weird and kooky too, but that kind of plays into the charm of it. I don't know. I think it's great. So let us know, what are your favorite moments from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch from 1982, written by Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, if I can speak. So real quick, brief talk about horror highlights. So the first 2 films, Halloween 1, Halloween 2, those are up on the channel already. Go and watch those. Be sure to like them. And we're going to hit the rest of the Halloween franchise. I would like to do the Thorn trilogy together, 4, 5, and 6, and I'm kind of thinking about some ways we could do that for Oktoberfest. But we're going to kind of hit pause on the Halloween horror highlights for now. We will come back to them. Maybe at halfway to Halloween or in October for Oktoberfest. I don't know, but we will get there for the rest of this series. But we're going to hit pause for now. So and that's just so that we can kind of tackle other things on the channel that we would like to. We want to get back into some purely and simply evil stuff. We kind of started on the zombie train, and then we kind of fell off of it. So we want to get back on to talking George A. Romero's films, Return of the Living Dead, which is having another big resurgence this year, and there's a lot to talk about there. So we're going to hit pause on the Halloween horror highlight stuff. We will come back to it, moral of the story. And you don't have to put us in Halloween masks with a chip that's going to fry our heads. And
unless you want to.
And please don't. Even if you want to, don't. I don't want snakes and worms coming out of my head after you kill me. I'm good. I'm good, dog. I'm good. But let us know your favorite moments from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, guys. You can support us. Best way to do so is by liking the video, subscribing to the channel. We've seen a whole lot of growth on the channel lately, which is awesome. So thank you all very much for that. If you're new here, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram not Twitter. I don't know why I just said that. You can follow us on TikTok and Threads and Instagram at LTM Podcast KY. Join the Facebook group just as it appears on the bottom of your screen at Let's Talk Movies YouTube channel -- community page. One of our admin will let you in. Thank you again so much for watching, and boom bum 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 boom bum. Happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Bye.